Welcome back to the cryptowrld channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and right now, Bitcoin is still currently retesting previous resistance, while Ethereum is attempting a breakout from this new pattern, which I'll talk about later in the video, so make sure to watch to the end. First of all, starting off on the 4-day Bitcoin chart, and right now, nothing has really changed over the last 1 day on the 4-day time frame. So if you're new to the channel and you want to know more about this chart right here, then check out my last video on the channel. So getting straight into the daily Bitcoin chart, and right now, as of recording this video, this bearish divergence is technically still active, with the RSI currently trending to the downside below this descending line of resistance. And so once again, as I've been saying since a few weeks ago, all the way back up here, this basically means we should not be expecting a significant amount of bullish momentum, at least in the shorter term, and instead we're likely going to see either some choppy sideways price action, if not a slight pullback in the price of Bitcoin. And so once again, at least for now, that is still currently active, which means we should still continue to expect that type of price action in the shorter term, at least while this remains active. And if you're looking at the daily Bitcoin MACD, even though we recently saw a bullish cross in this indicator, we have not seen a lot of momentum. So once again, even though it has technically crossed bullish, the momentum is still very, very flat, which means once again, we do not have a lot of bullish momentum. And instead, we're looking relatively neutral, at least in the shorter term here. We do not have a strong direction in the price of Bitcoin. And now just staying on the daily time frame, and technically speaking, we still have a bullish price target at around 31,500 due to this falling wedge pattern. But like I've been saying recently over the last few days, I do not expect the price going straight to that price target within the next few days or anything like that, because once again, at least in the shorter term for now, we have a lack in momentum. And now if you're looking at the 8-hour Bitcoin chart, looking at the Fibonacci retracement tool from this low at around 24.7k to this swing high, we have the 38.2% Fibonacci level of support sitting at around 28.9k to 29k approximately, which is still the support to pay attention to as of right now. But if we saw a confirmed break well below 28.9k with significant candle closes confirming that break to the downside, then in that case, the next important support is sitting at around 28,000 to 28.1k. And as for shorter term resistance, we still have this previous Fibonacci level of support now acting as new resistance, sitting at around $30,000. And now just staying on the 8-hour time frame, once again, we technically still have a shorter term bullish divergence currently playing out, as I've said, over the last few days, which basically means we're essentially taking a small pause from this short-term bearish trend. And typically a bullish divergence plays out either in the form of choppy sideways price action, if not a slight bullish relief. And so once again, this is basically what we've seen over the last few days since this new bullish divergence confirmed. But in case you're new to this channel, it is important to understand that this bullish divergence does not necessarily invalidate that larger bearish divergence here on the daily time frame. And so essentially this bearish divergence on the daily time frame is causing this pullback, which on smaller time frames looks more like a short-term bearish trend. But then this smaller bullish divergence in the smaller time frames is resulting in a small pause, a small bullish relief from that short-term bearish trend. But this does not necessarily invalidate that short-term bearish trend. And now if you're zooming into a smaller time frame, taking a look at the 4-hour Bitcoin chart, once again, as I mentioned in my last video on the channel, right now the price of Bitcoin is technically still retesting this previous descending line of resistance, which is potentially acting as new support right now. And this is sitting at approximately 29.3k. And so once again, at least right now in the imminent short term, 29.3k should be acting as support for the price of Bitcoin. But if we end up seeing a confirmed break back below 29.3k, then in that case, we would likely head down towards this Fibonacci level of support, once again at around 28.9k to 29k approximately. And in fact, at least as of right now, the price of Bitcoin is basically in a choppy sideways price range in between around 29,000 to around 30,000. And if you want to know how to make a lot of money in a choppy sideways price range just like this, then stick around to the end of this video to find out more. But first, getting into the Ethereum part of this video, this is on the daily ETH to US dollar chart, and right now the price of ETH is still trading above this important area of support, sitting in between around 1770 to 1820. And if you're looking at the daily Ethereum price oscillators, right now the daily Ethereum RSI is still looking relatively neutral, basically chopping around sideways, while the daily Ethereum MACD just recently confirmed a new bullish cross. But with that being said, just like I said for Bitcoin earlier in the video, we are not currently seeing a lot of momentum. So even though this is technically crossing back in the bullish direction, this does not mean we're going to definitely see a massive bullish move, because once again, at least for now, we are currently lacking the momentum. And so this is why I've been saying for the last 1 to 2 weeks, we're likely going to see relatively mild price action, nothing too significant in the short term, which has been playing out here as expected. And now if you're zooming into the 8-hour ETH to US dollar chart, looking at the Fibonacci levels, we have the 50% retracement level sitting at around 1820 to 1830, which is still the short-term support to pay attention to. But if we end up seeing a confirmed break well below 1820 with confirmation like large candle closes below that level, then in that case, we have the golden pocket area of support sitting in between around 1760 to 1770. And as for resistance in the shorter term, we have this previous Fibonacci level acting as resistance sitting at around 1870 to 1880. And if we saw a confirmed breakout well above 1880, then in that case, the next resistance I'll be watching is this level at around 1930. And now if you're zooming into the 6-hour ETH to US dollar chart, right now the price of ETH is still currently retesting this previous descending line of resistance, which is potentially now acting as new support. And this line as of right now is currently sitting at around 1830 approximately. So once again, at least in the short term, if we drop back to the downside, we should expect some immediate support around 1830 before heading down towards that lower Fibonacci level. And as I've also been saying over the last few days, we technically have a small bullish divergence playing out here in the short term, because we do have confirmed lower lows in the price while confirming higher lows in the RSI. And so once again, this basically means we're currently taking a pause from that short-term bearish trend. But if you're zooming into the imminent short term right here, looking at the 1-hour ETH to US dollar chart, right now we are potentially seeing the price of ETH break out from this very small falling wedge pattern, because as of right now, this line of resistance is sitting at around 1850 and this line of support is sitting at around 1840. So basically, if we see a confirmed breakout well above 1850 with candle closes or possibly a retest of that level, flipping it into new support, then in that case, that would set up a bullish price target for this new falling wedge pattern, which would be sitting at the top of the wedge, sitting at around 1870 to 1880 approximately. And so if you measure from the current price of ETH to that technical price target, we're talking around a 1% move to the upside. So obviously not a massive move, because remember, we're on the much smaller time frames here. But with that being said, obviously even a 1% move can turn out to be a very profitable trade if you're a leverage trader, for example. And obviously, if we do confirm this breakout to the upside and confirm that technical price target at around 1870 to 1880, that is also sitting right at around that level of resistance just here. And also, like I said for Bitcoin on the 8-hour time frame earlier in the video, the price of ETH is also basically in a sideways price range in between this support and this resistance. And now, if you want to know how to make a lot of money in crypto, no matter if the price is going to the upside, to the downside, or simply chopping around sideways like it is right now, then make sure to watch these videos popping up right here on your screen. The video in the top left shows you how to make money if the price is bullish or bearish using AI, and the video in the bottom left shows you how you can easily profit from a choppy sideways price range. But anyway, that's everything that I have to say for today. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.